So I am here at Identiverse with John Richardson, and the thing that really stood out to me is, of course, the G. Tell us about why you guys are both rocking this, as well as you, and what your company does.
Yeah, so Senhasegura is founded in Brazil as a purpose account management vendor, and their attitude and perspective toward cybersecurity is cyber defense. So the viewpoint that we are bringing to our customers is that you have to know what you're doing. Be like a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu master, being able to defend appropriately against very difficult attacks. And for that, you have to train well, you have to know what you're doing, and you got to execute with confidence. And so the theme of being a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu master is also what we would say around Jiu-Jitsu. And so cyber defense, cyber resiliency, an ability to have the attitudes of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the viewpoint of defending against cyber attacks.
It was a good idea to come up with wearing this too to the convention, because I even said coming into Identiverse, you kind of don't really know who's here for Identiverse. There's not a particular look. No one really stands out. You guys definitely stand out, and that's why immediately I said,
Yeah.
I want to hear what these guys do and what they're up to.
Nice to know. The chief marketing officer is the one that came up with this strategy, not just with the geese, but the whole idea that supporting the, I guess, context behind it. All of our little marketing materials you're going to see. So, we've got here this little sticker here where you got Jiu-Jitsu again, and he was right in the very first time. Like, we're going to wear gis. Is it going to stand out? Absolutely. This is now the fourth conference I've worn the gi for, and when I walk around, people will approach me almost like I'm a mascot. Hey, I like what you're wearing. And in fact, last time we were in Vegas at the Gartner IM conference when it was here in 2022, we had Orion Gracie with us.
Oh wow!
Which
Wow,
is
that's huge.
yeah, and for those that don't know, it would be like saying you have Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And so he was at our booth for a period of time doing signatures, pictures with people. I've got another gi at home I don't wear anymore because he signed it.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And so the viewpoint of being, and also that is Brazilian. So we do want to say that although we're in the U.S. serving U.S. customers, founded in Brazil, so we have a different I guess perspective on customer success, because there's a strong passion behind it, Brazilian passion behind customer success. We're the only vendor in the Gartner peer review that has 5 stars.
Oh wow.
In the PAM space. So that's hard for anybody to do in any space. But that's that passion behind success.
So other than that perspective, as you said, and that attitude and the image, what stands out about JWR from anyone else in the identity management space?
Interesting, yeah. So as I've been speaking right now, I've been speaking the persona of Senhasegura, which is the vendor for purpose account management. I'm their premier partner in the United States, the CEO of it, JWR Identity. So what is different about us is that we partner with companies like Senhasegura that are the best in their space. And the viewpoint of it is that they're trying to do it right. So you might have a company that has a lot of functionality, but how are you going to deploy it, implement, maintain over time? What's your TCO and time to value look like? Or is it realistic? You've got all this functionality, but if the architecture is overly complicated, which you'll see in the IAM space overall, in the PAN space overall with some vendors, it can be unreasonable to get to your goals. So it doesn't really matter what functionality it has. You're not going to achieve that functionality in complex scenarios. And larger companies have a lot of complex scenarios. Senhasegura is built on a simple model for implementation and support, which I won't get too much into.
Sure, no.
But it is, we just had a conversation with a customer that is with another vendor, and they're talking about the architecture that they need and the architecture they have to expand to for their goals, and it is troubling. And so we explained to them what the architecture would look like from Senhasegura, and quite a bit different. The proof will be in the pudding. We want to say a little bit more, so because it does sound like really extravagant things that we're saying about how different the architecture is. But JWR partners with companies that have a very sincere, pragmatic approach to success once you've bought their product, not that it'll turn into shelfware because it was too hard to deploy or manage or too expensive. And we have a few other vendors that are innovative in a similar way that we're proud to have in our portfolio. And we, at the end of the day, something we call total quality management is where we put, or governance, total quality governance, is what we apply a certain extra level of understanding and collaboration so that you have the right result at the end of delivery. Because often what you thought you were supposed to do and why you're going to do it changed as the project went, but you have to stay on the rails of the SOW, so that now you end, and I can't tell you how many CISOs have told me this, I didn't get the results I wanted, but I got the SOW I paid for. So with total quality governance, we're going to make shifts as we go, making sure that the senior leadership is always being informed of things that have to change, why they have to change, and being pragmatic about those changes.
And what do you think of Identiverse so far, just as a whole? Anything that stood out to you so far?
How excited everybody is to be here. And the speakers, we've got a world-renowned speaker that is affiliated with JWR Identity here called Vlad Shapiro. That's going to do something around identity, device, and targets, which is innovative around how business maps to identity, and you need to do that well. You're going to cost yourself a lot of money. Len No is a CyberArk employee that is probably the best speaker around synthetic identity. And what I love about what I just said on both those things, Andre Durand, Ping CEO that kicked it all off, he spoke about synthetic identity and about how do we know who you are and what we're trying to do about that decentralized viewpoints around access, the difficulties around authorization. There's a level of depth and knowledge about the speakers here, starting with Andre, but also Len and Vlad and others, that shows a different level of sincerity to trying to resolve difficult problems, and a different level of, not want to say intelligence, but experience, let's say. And like I said, a lot of excitement as well.
Awesome. And last thing, where should people visit Senhasegura or JWR? Where do you want to send people? Anything people should check out?
Yeah, either our website, senhasegura.com, SenhaSegura.com, or JWRidentity.com.
Awesome. Well, great meeting you guys. You guys definitely stand out. And hopefully our viewers and listeners here at NIDIS check out what you're up to.
Thank you so much, Adam.